Hi, I'm Preston Williams, and welcome to Jazz Talk. I just wanted to come on here today and talk a little bit about a very special individual, a great musician who we recently lost back on the 25th of August, I guess like 10 days ago, talking about organist Joey DeFrancesco. His passing has really affected many of us. And I got a chance to spend a little time with Joey over the last couple of years and get to know him. I wouldn't say we were friends or anything like that, but got a chance to spend some time with him, interview him, and just sitting here thinking about him. I wanted to just come on and say a few things. I don't have anything planned, but um, Joey DeFrancesco really came to be known, I guess, back in the 90s. And his first big association, of course, was with the great Miles Davis. And of course, many of you may not know that Joey DeFrancesco was a multi-instrumentalist. He played, organ, he played trumpet, he played saxophone, he could also sing. He was a pretty good singer. And Miles was just crazy about him. Miles would actually go around and show Joey off to many of his friends. And Joey was telling me a story that he played something on the trumpet one time, and Miles loved it. And Miles is like, "Play that again." And Joey played the same thing again, and Miles is like, "It was better the first time." But Marcus Miller, others tell stories about Joey, and of course, he played with a lot of big names, like John McLaughlin, Elvin Jones. And he was associated with many people. One of his closest friends was a bassist, Christian McBride, and those guys go way, way, way back to like the 80s. They were very, very tight. Um, yeah, Joey really was just unprecedented. I can't think of another musician quite like him. He was from Springfield, Pennsylvania, and comes from a family of fantastic musicians. His grandfather, who he's named after, was a saxophonist, and his father was also an organist. And he was just engulfed in music at a very early age. Also, last year, January of 2021, I had the wonderful opportunity to sit down and do an interview with Joey. If you haven't seen it, just go to YouTube and put in Jazz Talk Joey DeFrancesco. I had a great and wonderful time talking to him. And eventually we got a chance to meet. He came to Keystone Corner in Baltimore. That was my first time seeing him. And it was funny, I was sitting all the way up front just listening to him play. And man, he had some chops on him. And afterwards, after the show, went backstage and he's like, "Man, I thought I recognized you sitting there up front." He said, "You're that dude that interviewed me." I said, "That's me." So we chatted, took some photos, and just had a great conversation. And he looked good. He looked well. And then I saw him again recently, um, just a few months ago in June in California at NAMM, the National Association of Music Merchants. I saw him there. We saw each other and embraced, talked again, snapped some photos, and he was just playing and having some fun. He had a group of people around him listening to him, and he looked well. He looked good. And it was just fantastic just being able to see him again and chat with him. And then boom, a few months later, he's gone. And I always tell people this: no one is promised tomorrow. You never know, when that time comes. But he was special, one of the greatest musicians ever. And I think one of his biggest influences was, of course, organist Jimmy Smith, who also recognized Joey's talent and sort of took him under his wing. Joey told me some stories about him, and sometimes they would have battles. They'd be on the stage and they'd be playing. And I'll be honest with you, Joey could basically, play as well or even outdo him. Some people say, you better whisper that, but seriously, Joey could hold his own. And plus, he had so much talent. I mean, like I said, this guy played trumpet very well. He played saxophone. He was a good singer, and he could play in any type of setting with anyone. And he was such a giving musician, very special. And we're definitely going to miss him. 51 years old. And I'm so glad I got the opportunity to get to know him. I wouldn't say we were friends, but he knew who I was, and of course I know who he was. But he's just a wonderful cat. And actually, one of his very last gigs was right here in my area in Baltimore. It was at Keystone Corner, I think about a week or 10 days before his passing. That was one of his last gigs. And Todd Barkin is the owner of that jazz club. But yeah, that was actually one of his last gigs. So he you know, his music is there, of course, for the world to hear. He's put out some fantastic recordings. And I think at a very, very early age, he got a recording contract. And like I said, when he played with Miles, I think he was only like 17 or something like that. It was like that same scenario with Tony Williams, you know, playing with Miles at age 17. And he was special. We love him and we're going to miss him. And I just want to give condolences to his family, especially his wife, and just let them know that, hey, we love Joey and we're here to support you guys in any way we can. But didn't have anything planned. I just wanted to get on here and just tell Joey, hey, man, love you, rest in peace, and we will never forget you. I'm Preston Williams signing off. And as the saying goes, if the music grooves and makes you move, it must be jazz. Peace.